Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. For the sake of this video, we're going to continue discussing the Star Trek Next Generation movie series. We're discussing the third film with the Next Generation cast, and technically the ninth film overall in the whole movie series, and that's 1998 Star Trek Insurrection. Starting, of course, the cast for the Next Generation television series with Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Michael Dorn, Brent Spiner, Gates McFadden, Marina Sirtis, and of course the villain of the movie, F. Murray Abraham, and Donna Murphy, who plays Picard's love interest in this thing. And for this movie, of all the except for maybe possible exception, maybe Star Trek 3, this is like the shortest movie of all the Star Trek films. It's about maybe roughly an hour and 45 minutes. It's approximately about the same length as Star Trek 3 was. Back in 1984, now 14 years later, the movie is just as short as Star Trek 3 was. And this movie was worse. And I think this is like the worst movie of all four movies, especially the Next Generation cast. And this one feels more like an episode, or at least a two-part episode of the Next Generation show. Because this movie starts off with Data doing a survey of this planet, and he's in like a camouflage suit, so no one can see that he's there. And then meanwhile he starts to rebel, and part of his memory goes, and he starts to fight back against the Federation and goes nuts. So the admiral who was in charge of this operation contacts Picard and tells him that, look, we need all this schematics for Data so we can shut him down. So Picard goes, oh, why don't we get there, get where you are, and give you a hand and help him. Because I'm his captain and responsible for him. So reluctantly, the Admiral Doherty, whose name was, the character's name, says, okay, agrees to that, and they go to this planet, and they found out that this planet is kind of like a fallen youth. It means that people have been there for over 300 years. There's about 600 people, more or less. They migrate to this planet, and they figure to stay there. And they found out that there's this radiation belt, kind of like rings, like on the planet Saturn, and rings around this planet, and emits some kind of radiation that makes you stay young, and revigorates people. Make them go back to a younger stage of development, and make them horny, all that type of stuff. Make you feel younger, and it's kind of like a fallen youth. So this other group that this Admiral Doherty was involved with wanted that radiation so to rejuvenate all their problems. You get rid of all their problems that they have. And the leader of this other group was played by F. Murray Abraham. And he wanted this to take these people out, to remove them from the planet, so you could get this radiation. When they found out that wasn't the case, they found out the Core and the Enterprise crew found out that they had what they called a ship, a camouflage ship, there, and they were going to pretend to transport all the colonists onto that ship without them knowing about it. And then they removed the ship, and then destroy the planet to get this minerals that they wanted, and transport the people to another planet or a similar looking planet to that. And when Picard found out about it, he says, look, we're not going to help you guys. And so the Admiral goes, look, you're under Federation orders to get out of here, and either to help me or to get out. And so Picard says, so fuck you, we're not going to help you guys out, and we're going to help the native people. So wait a minute, they don't live here. They don't. They're kind of like the Donald Trump of the this guy was like Donald Trump of the Federation. They want to kick all the immigrants out who are there, and to put them for themselves. And then they found out, Picard finds out about 3/4 of the way through the movie, which was the big twist, and that was the people who want to remove this group of people who wants to remove the people from the planet Paradise, was actually from there. I think there's the sons or grandsons or brothers and sisters and whatnot from this planet, because Picard found out from the other leaders there that there was this group of people who wanted to leave, and they just wanted to get up and leave. So we let them leave, but they weren't satisfied with that. They just want to go out into outer space, which is against our beliefs. So we let them pretty much go, and they started such a riot that we kicked all of them out off the planet. And so the leader is now back to get revenge on the people who kicked them out. So like I said, it plays like an episode of Star Trek, a very Star Trek television series. And it says, the people who originally from the planet comes back after being exiled for like 300 years, decides to come back and seek their revenge on these people. And get revenge on the people who kicked them out, or the relatives who kicked them out. And that's what the premise was. And of course, Picard and his team and his crew, of course, eventually wins at the end of the movie. There's no real big surprise. There's no big shocks in this film. There really aren't, except for the fact there's some good action scenes where they're trying to Picard and the Enterprise crew tries to help get the the native people, the people who were there, to hide from the ones who wants to, from the people who wants to remove them. And you see some exciting action scenes trying to get them in the cave, and people who are disappearing are being transported because the bad guys in this film were using drones, and they were dropping devices on the bodies of the people running away so they could transport them. Because they're in an area where transporting is no good unless they have a device on them to beam them out. And that's what was happening, and that was a pretty exciting, sequence there. But of course, having a love interest for Picard, which, of course, as we know in the television series, there wasn't really that many love interests for Picard throughout the whole, not only just the movies, but in the television show, there wasn't really that much of a love interest for Picard that much. I mean, Captain Cook got more women than Picard ever did, or any other captain from the other from any other Star Trek series. Cook got laid more than any of the other captains on the Star Trek universe. But that's because he's Cook. But Picard fell in love with Donna Murphy, and Donna Murphy was kind of hot. She was a Broadway star, actually, and one of the few in Broadway who isn't a homosexual, right? But that's neither here nor there. But Picard fell in love with Donna Murphy, but unfortunately, they broke up in the end because Picard could never have a woman. Really, neither could Cook. But they left everything as it was, and at the end of the film, when they just went away, and the Enterprise ran away, they won, and at the end, and that's it. So Trek Insurrection is definitely, without a doubt, one of the worst and most forgettable movies in the whole Star Trek universe. So that's my review. Let me do a short review. That's my review of Star Trek Insurrection. Please click on the video, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews not only my YouTube channel, but at rowdyc.com, that's all with WDY, and that's c.com, that's the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer. Christine Moore, please check out all of his videos on this website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.